What's happening, Manhwa Champions? Don't forget to leave your feedback and smash that like button. Now let's dive into this epic tale.
In a different place, the two siblings feel the same thing. They look toward the sky, full of questions. Why has it suddenly gone dark? Back to Zangyuan, who is still in the air. The situation now looks tense and very terrifying. Daytime, which should be filled with bright light, suddenly turns pitch black like night. After making observations, he says, "Above the 9 skies, a gigantic figure has appeared." Not long after those words, a huge shadow appears in the sky, making the disciples of the Heavenly sect feel extreme pain, so that some of them say they can't endure it any longer. Zangyuan, seeing that figure, says, "So this is what people call the Immortal Ruler." Suddenly, he also feels the same fate as the Heavenly's disciples. He groans, full of questions. What is this sound? This sound stirs up hatred within him and tries to corrupt his will. Is this the reason why the Heavenly's disciples are suffering? He then says that he has cultivated for thousands of years, tasking countless tribulations to sever worldly desires. Who does that creature think it is, daring to try to corrupt his will? The waves of sound continue to appear in the sky, making Zangyuan truly pressured. Veins begin to show on his cheeks. He is full of questions. What kind of creature is this, daring to call itself an immortal? But why does he feel nothing above this heaven? It seems only an illusion. Back to the Heavenly sect disciples, they groan even more. Enduring the pain they feel, they keep strengthening themselves to keep their minds focused so they can survive, because after absorbing all the Tao fruits, the Immortal Lord will soon leave. From the Immortal Lord's eyes, a purple energy is channeled, slowly descending to absorb the Tao fruits. And now the fruits that come from humans speak to each other, saying the Immortal Lord has descended, quote, "Great heavenly immortal, this is amazing," unquote, that they will ascend to become immortals. Zangyuan mutters that the creature is absorbing the fruits. This is a good thing. People are distracted and ignore him. Now is the right time to activate the formation and leave quickly. He immediately rides his sword using the object control technique and awakens the formation flags he arranged earlier. This is the 9 Origin Spirit Gathering formation, which forms in the air like a yellow seal, drawing 9 corners of purple energy. The sect's disciples, watching from afar, look confused. It's their first time seeing something like this. The elders, too, full of questions. What is happening inside the sect? Why is the cleansing key in the sect gathering in one place? Back to Zangyuan. He keeps controlling his technique while muttering. As expected, the spirit gathering formation is working well. Come on, absorb all the clear key from this place. Because of that technique, the purple energy controlled by the Immortal Ruler now begins to thin and cannot return because Zangyuan keeps pulling it. However, this cleansing key is too much, forcing him to wait longer, even to the point of sweating. Meanwhile, the Immortal Ruler shows veined eyes, a sign his anger is unbearable. How could it not be? Tao fruits that were already before his eyes are now being drawn away by Zangyuan's energy. This, of course, truly annoys him, so he strengthens his purple aura. Realizing this, Zangyuan is shocked. He immediately looks toward the Immortal Ruler, and that makes his eyes widen, because the Immortal Ruler is staring at him. He quickly averts his gaze because the Lord tries to influence him. On the other side, the elders of the Heavenly sect feel the same. They groan to each other, full of confusion. What is happening? Weren't they hiding very far away? Why can the Immortal Lord still influence them? What is happening in the sect? Why is the Immortal Lord so mad this time? Having experienced this, they don't just stay still. One of the elders orders the disciples still conscious to bring the Tao fruits here. Another elder says he can feel the Immortal Lord's anger. That's what he fears. Back to Zangyuan, part of his body is already stuck with things like Tao fruits. He thinks that the sound emerging is trying to activate his flesh, even though he has absorbed quite a lot of cleansing qi. He must leave this place immediately before it's too late. But before leaving, he first stops the absorption core and annihilates the cleansing qi that has already gathered, then escapes using the sword control technique to speed up his movement. Switch to the two siblings, their faces full of worry. Zetian asks, why hasn't Crazy Brother returned yet? Has something happened to him? His older sister ignores it because she feels the presence of something coming from the front, shooting toward them at very high speed. Zetian finally realizes too. He is shocked. What kind of monster is this? Moreover, the creature lands right in front of them, making him truly alert, and spontaneously trying to protect his sister. But Xiaoling recognizes that this is Zangyuan, so she asks, is he okay? Zangyuan confirms that it is him. Knowing that, the siblings are of course puzzled, asking, what happened? Zangyuan says there's no time to explain. Now just follow him, because together they will get out of here. With that, he grabs the two siblings and carries them, shooting off at full speed. As a result, Xiaoling and Zetian are tossed about in the air. On the other side, the Immortal Lord, seeing that, becomes truly and completely uncontrollable, continuously releasing his cleansing qi, which even spreads to the residential settlements. This is Almond Flower Village, located near the Rocky Hills. The village name is clearly displayed on its gate. A woman named Sunyong is standing in front of a room intending to bring food to her fiancé. She warns that her fiancé hasn't eaten or drunk for the last 5 days, so she begs him to come out and eat. Instead of agreeing, the man hits the window hard, cursing Sunyong to get away from him or he will annihilate her. People watching sneer. How heartless the man is to say such a thing to his fiancé. One woman shows concern for what Sunyong is experiencing and speaks up asking the man to come out.
Let's enjoy life together, Madam Su. Does the man plan to starve himself to death in there? The man, from the Liao family, curses them to stop talking, or else he will annihilate them all. Sunyang, hearing that, can only be silent with a gloomy face. Moreover, she feels ashamed when her fiancé acts like that in front of many people. Now the people become angry, cursing, swearing to forget the man and let him die inside. With that, they begin to leave, as does Sunyang, who slowly walks away from him. Meanwhile, he, realizing this, peeks a little through the gap in the window. Before ending the story, Mimin will briefly explain some information or techniques used in this episode. First, the Immortal Lord here is still secret and not yet defined. Second, the 9 Origin Spirit Gathering Formation is a formation based on low-level formation flags. As its name suggests, it can gather spiritual energy, condense it into spirit stones, and it can expand without limit. However, the concentration of spiritual energy from the air is not sufficient to maintain the formation, so it is usually used by sects to gather spiritual energy at veinstone sites. Third, Tao fruits are meat-like fruits that grow from the Tao fruit tree, sharing the tree's memories and rich in cleansing qi. An immortal who eats this fruit will mutate into a Tao fruit tree. But some immortals who have talent can hear the immortal omen. After marrying, or bonding, they gain enlightenment and enter the Tai Ching path. Consuming this fruit is the only path of understanding to develop and act as a stabilizer for the body. Without regular consumption, cultivators will still transform into Tao fruit trees, something that happens through the Immortal Lord's pronouncements.
Before you go, don't forget to tap like if you enjoyed the episode, subscribe for more epic recaps, turn on notifications so you never miss a chapter. And with that being said, Manhwa Champions, we're going to bring this video to an end. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will catch you all later. Peace.